Take your travel work setup from this to this. I recently went on a couple trips in the midst of my job search and unemployment, and I wanted to be sure that if I had any interviews, job offers, even potentially had to start a job, that even if I'm traveling, I could look my very best when doing so, and in the very unlikely event that they wanted me to start a job while I was traveling, have a professional enough setup to do so. Thus, here are some essential accessories for travel for any MacBook or slim laptop user. Whether you're a remote worker while traveling, a digital nomad, or just like to work out of cafes sometimes. And before we begin, make sure you subscribed, and if you enjoy the video, leave a like, it really helps out a lot. Let's get started. First off, I highly recommend a combo laptop case and stand. This laptop sleeve by Moft is by far the easiest recommendation that I have on this list. But it's not just a case. It also doubles as an ergonomic laptop stand. I don't like the ergonomics of using a laptop, and that's because my neck is typically craned down looking at it, and this is accentuated by having a very long torso and very short legs. I have the proportions of a Legend of Zelda Wind Waker character. But thanks to this case stand combo, wherever I go, I can raise my laptop screen by even just a few inches, dramatically alleviating that tension in my neck. When traveling, dual purpose functionality is incredibly useful. If you have a limited amount of space in your luggage, you simply can't be a maximalist, and you can't have the most crazy assortment of things. Because ergonomics with my laptop are so important to me, before I got this really nice case from Moft, I used this gargantuan honkin' laptop stand every single day. Somehow I found the space to fit it in my backpack when I went to university and when I traveled. But this was at the expense of fitting just about anything else into my bag. As you can see, this thing is not very compact. Since I switched to the sleeve stand combo by Moft, I know that wherever I go, I can have some ergonomic benefits while using my laptop. That said, this carry sleeve is a little pricey, coming in at $59.99, but given how useful it is, I would pay it again in a heartbeat. I've convinced multiple friends to get this exact type of sleeve, and they really like it as well. It is so useful. Do note that the Moft sleeve is for slim laptops and it's fitted for MacBooks, but just about any other slim laptop should work. You might just need to size up a little bit to be safe. Number 2, multi-use charging. Many MacBooks and other slim laptops have pretty large charging bricks. They may be much smaller than a typical gaming laptop's charging brick, but the charging brick for my MacBook is rather bulky and only has one USB port. Compare this with this. 1 port versus 3 port with almost the same wattage. On that note of dual purpose functionality, I am a huge fan of the Anker 735 Nano charger. It has 3 ports, one of which has 65 watts for a laptop and 2 are fast charging for smartphones. The laptop port and one of the smartphone ports are USB-C and the other port is USB-A. It has enough power to charge my M1 Max MacBook Pro no problem, and it has 2 more ports than the default charging brick and is way smaller. And I do make use of those 2 additional ports. Instead of needing a laptop charging plug as well as a USB-A charging plug, I can bring this one plug and have everything I need. It also has enough wattage to safely charge a Nintendo Switch as well as a Steam Deck, though I don't think you'll get the fast charging capabilities for the Steam Deck. It is a little pricey, coming in at $59.99, but it looks like there's a coupon right now, so depending on when this video goes up, there might still be a coupon. Affiliate link in the description. A big overarching theme in this video for travel accessories for laptops is multi-functionality, and this next point is no different. Number 3. A capture card. But Andy, what does a capture card have to do with travel? Isn't that just for capturing console gameplay while streaming? Yes, but they do have additional functionality. First off, this only really applies if you're the type of person to bring a camera with you while you travel. Otherwise, you can ignore this. I already use capture cards for a more efficient video workflow. I record my videos using OBS, which most people use for streaming, but it allows me to very easily switch camera angles. For example, here's my main angle, here's my side angle. But this idea got me thinking. Some capture cards, especially those for cameras, are really tiny. I already use my camera plus capture card combo for video calls and OBS recording. And I already bring my camera with me when I travel. Why not bring a capture card with me while I travel so I can use my camera for video calls while I'm traveling? Thus, I carry my AverMedia Livestreamer Cap 4K in my cable bag alongside with an HDMI to micro HDMI cable and a USB-C to USB-C cable to connect it to my MacBook. I only recommend bringing a capture card with you while traveling if you already bring a camera anyways, and if there's a chance you'll have any video calls. Going into video calls with an actual camera looks a lot better than using the default webcam. This. Default webcam, camera. Default webcam, camera. It's night and day. And given I work in social media, content marketing, influencer relations, things like that, people I'm interviewing for jobs actually care about how I look, what camera quality I'm using, if I know how to use technology. And given how tiny the capture card is, it's worth carrying around with me. The AverMedia one isn't the only option I'd recommend. You could also use an Elgato Camlink 4K or any number of ultra cheap capture cards from Amazon. But this is all to say, if you have a camera and you might take a video call, invest in a capture card. You'll go from this to this in your video calls, and people will notice. Last on the list is using an iPad as a second monitor. But Andy, I don't use a MacBook. I can't use an iPad as a second monitor. That's where you're wrong. First off, iPads and MacBooks do have a built-in functionality to use an iPad as a monitor for a Mac. This has existed since I believe 2016 or 2017 on iPads built in that generation, and works with just about any Mac or MacBook made around that time or after as well. This functionality is called Sidecar, and if you have a relatively new iPad and a relatively new MacBook, it is an amazing quality of life improvement. iPads are slim and they have great displays, so they make amazing second monitors while traveling. Let's quickly go over how to use an iPad as a monitor using Sidecar. First, make sure your iPad is plugged in. Next, on the menu bar, go to your control panel, click Display Preferences, and then on the bottom left, go to Add Display, and it should have your iPad right there. Then you can configure how you want your iPad to be positioned in relation to the rest of your monitors. I have it exactly where I have it physically, and as you can see, it is indeed a MacBook monitor right now. But what if you have an older model of iPad or don't use a Mac? There's an app for that. In fact, many apps for that. Duet is a really cool app that lets you use any iPad as a monitor on any Windows or Mac device. This includes iPads that are not supported by Sidecar. There's two versions, Duet Air, which is a subscription-based service and allows for wireless connection, and Duet Display, which is a one-time purchase of $14.99, but it only supports wired connections. I've used this old 2015 iPad mini as a monitor for so many years thanks to Duet. I used it while traveling in Japan in 2019 with my old Dell laptop, and I even used it with my desktop as a dedicated RuneScape monitor. Don't judge me. But the point is, iPads are slim and have really nice displays. Whether you're connecting newer iPads to Macs via Sidecar or any iPad to Windows or Mac with Duet, they make for great portable second monitors. And you get the benefits of having an iPad along with you as well. While this technology is really fun and exciting, there are some caveats. If you're having a cool laptop stand, a camera, a capture card, an iPad Pro all together in one setup, that is a little maximalist, and it kind of defeats the purpose of something very small and portable. That said, if you already carry a camera with you and you do need a second monitor for your work, it's perfect. Like, I don't think I could get any more minimalist with how to approach this. But having a camera, an iPad, and a MacBook all together, that's a lot you could potentially lose due to theft or damage. So make sure you keep an eye on your tech and potentially don't bring anything you're not willing to lose. Make sure you back up important documents to the cloud or an external drive before you leave. Make sure all your devices have some sort of password protection, and consider using AppleCare on any of your Apple devices, or consider purchasing travel insurance that can reimburse theft from a trip. Similarly, this is a great travel setup, but you don't need to take it out in public to use. You can stick to just private places like your hotel room. That'll really reduce the risk of loss or theft. Tech is expensive, and while it's really nice to use, it's also painful to lose. That said, don't let the risk of loss completely stop you from building your dream travel setup. Imagine putting all of this together. Use these ideas for a sick work setup while traveling. An ergonomic, dual monitor, no fluff, conference-ready setup is within your grasp, and it doesn't just have to be for use while traveling. At my last job at AverMedia, the days we had to go to the office, I would bring this exact setup with me. I'm more productive with two monitors, and if I had to use my laptop without any ergonomic boosts throughout the day, I would have carpal tunnel or neck pain out the wazoo. Even if you're not using parts of the setup while in the office, while in cafes, or while traveling, you can still use the components at your home setup. I use my iPad as an additional monitor sometimes. I use my capture cards all the time for video production. I'm using a capture card right now with my camera, and the moffed sleeve is just the case that I use for my MacBook. But the point is, if I'm out of the house and need to get some work done, I know I can bring a fantastic setup wherever I go. This video is a little different from my typical stuff talking about ocarinas, brand deals, marketing, things like that, but I really like talking about tech. So expect more relevant tech videos coming up in the next weeks and months. But in the meantime, I'd recommend watching my video on how to use a MacBook as a stream setup. You'd be very surprised how functional it is. While I don't stream much, I do use all these workflows for recording my videos. I should make a video about how I record my videos. It's a very interesting workflow. But in any case, thank you for watching this video. Leave a like, subscribe for more, and watch that one next. Happy creating, and I'll see you next time.